is it's a very physical game, and two, both teams seem a little tight. I know, it's a championship game, but things aren't just moving smoothly.
Moseley this time from 38 yards out with Theismann holding. Moseley, no good again. Misses to the right. That's 0 for 3 for Moseley today. Bad day for kickers. He's missed from 45, 34, and 38. Wersching has also missed twice from 50 and 55. Let's see if we can figure out what's wrong.
Yeah, they get the same reactions right there. I don't know why kickers have to wear gloves, but Moseley knew the minute he kicked that ball it was no good. You see him?
Yep.
Head down, chin strap off. Look at Joe Gibbs. He's moving that way. Oh, no. But lips get a little tight. Rose says, I can't believe that.
Still 7-0 Washington.
The Honda Accord LX 4-door sedan. It comes with a long list of standard equipment. Cruise control, air conditioning, a sophisticated stereo, a lighted mirror, power door locks and windows. The Accord LX has everything. Almost. The yacht is optional.
After you buy your first life insurance policy, you may find it's not your last. You may need another policy as a newlywed and as a new parent.
That pass by John Riggins again. Here he is, little counter step. He comes out here, both the guard and the tackle pull. Now that's what Ronnie Lott sees, see, and he's going to drag up. Now watch him here. We see the good fake here. Now both the guard, the tackle, even the tight end coming down. Riggins running. That's what Lott saw. No, Charlie Brown ran right by him. Look at the effect. Now watch Lott out here. You see, he's looking in the backfield. See, he sees the guard and tackle pull, and Riggins, and he goes, whoa, I read the wrong thing on that baby.
That was Dwight Hicks back there with him, but again, Charlie Brown made a heck of a catch. Solomon now for the 49ers comes out wide to the right. Mike Wilson to the left. First down, San Francisco at their own 20. Montana back toward Ford. Gets it outside to Roger Craig. Has a blocker in front. Craig has a 49er first down outside the 30. Ken Coffey finally nailed him. A pickup of 12.
Who made a good block on that play was Wendell Tyler. And he allowed Craig to get a few more yards. He looked like a guard out there in front of Craig blocking on that play.
'49er first down. Jeff Moore comes in. It's at the 33. Tyler shaken up a little bit after that block. Pat Summerall, John Madden, RFK Stadium, 7-0. NFC Championship game. Redskins lead. Moore in motion. Montana back. Wilson open and has it. Now drops it. Incomplete. Anthony Washington back there with him. Wilson was open, did have it, and then dropped it.
You know, it's an interesting thing. Bill Walsh was talking about that. He said, you know, I've been studying this defense. He said, we'll get guys open. He said, and when we do get open, we just have to catch the ball. Of course, Mike Wilson just dropped that thing. You got to catch those. Whew.
Wilson checking out those gloves.
Well, checking them out, he ought to take them off.
There on the sideline on the crutches is Dwight Clark, 49ers leading receiver and Montana's favorite target. Here's Montana back to throw again. Gets it outside to Solomon, who loses it. Rich Malott comes up with the ball, and the Redskins have it. It's a fumble. The Redskins take charge. That's the first San Francisco turnover. Rich Malott made the recovery.
Two bad breaks in a row for the 49ers. First Mike Wilson drops a pass, then Freddie Solomon catches one and then fumbles it. There's Darrell Green on him right there. Oh, did he put the hammer on him? Jiminy Christmas, he went right up around his head and neck, and the ball just popped out of there, and Rich Malott was there to recover. Watch Darrell Green in that right arm. Oh, that's close to being illegal.
Redskins will have it in the 49er 35. Now good shape at the 49er 36-yard line with 6:29 left to play in the third quarter. And Theismann on first down goes to Art Monk. Monk scrambles away from Eric Wright. That'll be enough for a Washington first down, a pickup of 13.
Joe Theismann has been successful just on first down, just throwing a little quick pattern out here. You see, it's just a quick hitch. He just comes up and stuff. This was almost a big play. Had Art Monk broken that tackle, he would have been down that sideline. Good tackle by Eric Wright, or a touchdown-saving tackle by Eric Wright.
First down, nevertheless, at the 49er 23. Here's Riggins to the outside, cutting upfield or trying to, and the 49ers shut him down again. Led by Ricky Ellison.
Ricky Ellison was right there. He was just going shoulder to shoulder, just square on him. Well, he's become some story for these 49ers. Drafted, became a starter when they had injuries in the inside linebackers, and now he's even in there calling the defenses now. He's become an emotional leader of this team. He's a fired-up guy. Look at those eyes. He's ready. Where's Riggins, he says.
Now Fred Dean is in for the 49ers. Theismann will throw if he has time. Going deep. Looking. Intended for Monk. There is a penalty flag down. Ronnie Lott was back there with him.
It's going to be against Ronnie Lott.
Pass interference. Number 42, defense, first down.
Ooh, that's pass interference, so that'll be right where the ball was. Had it been defensive holding, if it was before the ball's in the air, it would have been a 5-yard penalty. Here he's saying now the ball's in the air when he hit him right there. It's that right arm. Because the end of the play was okay. He was just going for the ball. He has as much right to the ball as Monk did. I think they caught him for throwing that right arm up in there.
So the Redskins will have it first and goal from the 6, and now they shift.
Now Riggins will get it.
We'll give this to Riggins. And Riggins powers down to the 1. Ricky Ellison, again the tackler.
So the tough thing for these guys is Riggins is so big and he's so strong. And now watch Jack Reynolds in there. He's 64. Now the first thing you have to do is take on a blocker. You see he has to take on a 290-pound Russ Grimm. Now when you finally get off Grimm, here comes Riggins, and he weighs 240. That's a double dipper. That's a tough double dipper.
Otis Wansley in the backfield with Riggins now, but he won't carry it. It'll be 44. Riggins doesn't get in. They stop him at about the half-yard mark. Jim Stuckey on the bottom of the pile.
Well, this is what they paid John Riggins so much for, and I think he's the best in the game at it, you know, at short yardage and goal line. Because one thing, on the goal line, he gives them touchdowns, and in short yardage, he buys them 4 more down. They'll give it to Riggins again, and somehow he'll probably plow in there behind the left side of the line.
Theismann brings him up. The ball at the 1, 3rd and goal. Riggins again. Touchdown. Big John's second of the day.
John in there behind that big offensive line.
Moseley with Theismann holding will try to make it 14-0. And does.
Let's watch the touchdown play again. He only has a yard to go. Watch all those guys, the red jerseys, the white jerseys, everyone down in there. Wansley leading. Riggins just stuck the ball out there. You see that? He put the ball out there in front because the touchdown is the ball breaking the plane of the goal line. Watch Riggins as he jumps here. He puts the ball out in front of him so that the ball will break that plane. Look at Kugler here. Here's Pete Kugler, the defensive guy. Look, you can see him looking between his man's legs. He says, where's Riggins? Let me see his feet. I'm going to go where he goes. There he goes. He's going down that way. I'm going to get low, stay low. I got him. Where is he? Oh, where's the ball over the goal line?
It is now Washington 14, San Francisco nothing. 3:45 left to play in the third quarter. Redskins shifting around as Jeff Hayes picks off, and it's Dana McLemore fielding at his own 6-yard line. Headed left, headed upfield. McLemore outside the 30. Penalty marker down. It's going to be face mask, I'm pretty sure. Otis Wansley was the man who made the hit.
Yeah, it looked like yeah, it is. Otis Wansley is the guy who comes in and blocks for Riggins on short yardage and goal lines, but he's also a big special teams player. But watch this one. His left hand, oh man, that takes the head and the neck and turns out. That's going to be a 15-yarder, I think.
Personal foul, deliberate face mask, number 39. First down.
It was a 15. Deliberate foul.
I don't like that word deliberate. I mean, then you put yourself as a mind reader. How do you know something's deliberate? I mean, the guy's playing maybe 15 yards for how serious it is, but how do you know deliberate? How can they tell? What do they have, degrees in this stuff or what?
Degrees in face mask. Montana outside Wilson. Can't get away. Liebenstein made the stop.
Excuse me, it's a big break for the 49ers, though. Good field position. Darrell Green got up there pretty quickly, didn't he? This guy's all over the field. Watch him. He's out here man-to-man. He's looking in there. Sees Wilson get the ball. He's watching the ball. He's watching Wilson. Comes up and just makes that tackle again. This guy's all over the field. I mean, he's an amazing guy. He really is, this little guy. I said, are you still a rookie? He says, I love being a rookie. It's like being a little kid. You know, when you do something wrong, you can say, well, I'm young and I'm little. He can say, if I do something wrong, he can say, heck, I'm a rookie.
He stopped that one for a yard loss. Again, confusion as far as the 49ers are concerned, and they have to use one of their timeouts. Remember, that hurt them in the first half. 14-0 Redskins. We're in the beautiful city of Washington, D.C. Washington Monument, nation's capital. And it is indeed a beautiful city. And they do indeed love the Redskins. 49ers have the ball, 2nd and 11 from their own 46. Yet to get on the scoreboard. Going to be a flea flicker. Montana gets it out to Eason Ransom. Ransom cuts upfield. Gets into Redskin territory to their 45. That one I have not seen.
You were saying earlier that the 49ers have 117 passes in this game plan. It looks like they're using all of them. That was Montana to Ring to Montana to Ransom. Look at that chart. He has both sides of that thing filled up today. Look at those plays. You see, he has them all for, you know, like regular plays, long yardage, short yardage, goal line, every situation.
Here's Montana back to throw on 3rd down. Knocked away by Darrell Green, intended for Solomon. Green is everywhere.
Montana saying, where'd that little guy come from? I'll tell you, in the last 2 games, this guy has been dominating. This Darrell Green has been dominating from a defensive back position. See, he followed Freddie Solomon in motion. What? Solomon stopped. He stopped and reached back with his right hand. I hate to go overboard on anyone, but doggone it, he's worthy of going overboard on.
He has been the last 2 weeks.
This guy plays the way the game is supposed to be played.
Quinto is back. Oros to kick for the 49ers. Aiming for the corner. Quinto lets it bounce, and it goes into the end zone, and the Redskins will bring it back and start to operate from their own 20. Flag is down, however.
It's going to be against the 49ers. I'd be surprised if the Redskins take this penalty. I think the ball going in the end zone, they got a lucky break on that, and they ought to keep it.
Illegal man downfield on the kick, number 63, kicking team. Penalty declined. First down.
You're right. coming up next week on CBS Sports Saturday. Lightweight boxing, Robin Blake against Harry Arroyo, and World Cup skiing. It's at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And on Sports Sunday, lightweight boxing again. Howard Davis, Tyrone Crawley, World Cup skiing, Olympic figure skating. Riggins on the counterplay. Breaks the tackle. Riggins barrels for a Redskin, close to a Redskin first down before it's Dwight Hicks who takes him down.
You know, the thing is, I think you have to, you know, we know how big and strong John Riggins is, but the other thing, he has very, very quick feet. Let's watch that play again. We'll just watch it here from the end zone. Now it's that counter play again. The guard and the tackle pull, a little counter step, but watch the movement of his feet here. Watch, he dips him in, he stops, he cuts to the right, he oversteps, back to the inside, feet moving all the time. I mean, he's big and strong, but he has great, great feet.
Heisman fakes to Riggins. Now he looks deep. He has Charlie Brown, and Brown turns on the afterburner. Brown, touchdown. To Brown, 70 yards. Jack Kent Cook. Moseley will attempt the extra point. Brown has caught 5 passes for 137 yards. 2 big weeks in a row for him.
Well, that penalty will go on the kickoff there. That's one of the things I was always against. You know, they never did. They just give you a little penalty here on the extra point when they jump off sides and knock the center down. Let's just watch the touchdown again here. Again, the fake to Riggins. A little pump by Montana. He finds Charlie Brown right here, leads him out perfectly on a linebacker. Here comes Ronnie Lott. Charlie Brown turns on those afterburners, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Charlie Brown. Downtown, Charlie Brown.
Heisman will hold. Moseley up the middle. Redskins 21. 49ers nothing. Here is hail to the Redskins. Times this year. That goes all the way back to 1937. The penalty will be, as you were saying, the penalty after the extra point infraction will enable Jeff Hayes to kick off from the 40 instead of the 35. McLemore and Monroe back deep for San Francisco. 1:02 left, third quarter. Redskins 21. San Francisco nothing. Goes to McLemore. He handles at the 5. McLemore cut down at the 21. Alvin Garrett down to make the tackle, and his performance on special teams is typical of this Redskin team.
Let's watch one other aspect of that touchdown play. Here's Lawrence Pillars. He's going against Jacoby and watch him slug it out. There's heck. Charlie Brown's running for touchdowns. These guys are still going, wow, take this, take that, I got it, you got it. And then they look and say, Charlie Brown just scored a touchdown.
We got to go back down the other end. Let's pick this up later on. That's Wendell Tyler in motion, and Montana goes back to throw. Underthrows Freddie Solomon. Anthony Washington was the defender. Solomon couldn't quite come back for it. But the ball was underthrown.
Well, the Redskins are a very opportunistic team. You know, I mean, they get those turnovers, and then when they get them, they go down and score. Remember the last series, the 49ers dropped a pass, then Freddie Solomon fumbled the ball, and the Redskins take a boom, boom, boom touchdown.
They have a way of getting it done. Nehemiah. Flip wide to the left. Montana gets it to Skeets, who steps out of bounds. Gets the first down. Anthony Washington, the defender.
You know, when Skeets Nehemiah's in there, everyone is so worried about his speed. Now watch Anthony Washington. He's 24. He's covering here. Now look, he's going deep. He's saying he's going deep. I got him. Oh, he didn't go deep. He ran an out pattern. Look at, he's beat him by 5 yards. You know, when you see a guy like Nehemiah, you're so worried he's going to go deep that you run deep even when he doesn't.
Sort of a homecoming for him. 49ers worked out at University of Maryland. Nehemiah again. Montana gets it to him again. Out of bounds, first down. 37 seconds left to play in the third quarter. 19-yard game.
49ers may have found something here. Nehemiah on the outs. Let's watch Dave Butts here. After the play, he thought he was held by Randy Cross. Let's see if he is. Yep, he is. Look at that right hand on his jersey. He was arguing. He was saying, the guy held me.
Tore his numbers off almost.
Then he ripped the 5 off.
First down for San Francisco. To Russ Francis. Ken Coffey, the defender, and Francis has another 49er first down. They stopped the clock with 20. Now the clock is running. They say Francis didn't get out of bounds. Francis slow to get up, and so is Coffey. Been a hard day for him. This is the deepest San Francisco has been in Washington territory. Here's the end of the play.
Well, there's Ken Coffey on Russ Francis. We see Francis catch the ball. Looks like Coffey may have pulled something just before he went down. Maybe he got a cramp. When you do that, it's probably a cramp.
Don't forget, and I'm sure you won't, 2 weeks from today, Super Bowl Sunday. Begins with the Super Bowl today. The 49ers or Washington against the Los Angeles Raiders or the Seattle Seahawks. 2:30 Eastern Time is when the Super Bowl today begins.
How about Russ Grimm yesterday when we were talking to him, the guard of the Redskins, and we were talking about weight. He says, last year in the Super Bowl, he said, I was, 295, 300. He said, this year it's a little warmer in Tampa. He said, I'll be about 10 pounds lighter. He didn't even think, that, well, if we win and we go, and he says, yeah, I was playing up there about 300 last year. He said, a lot of it's fluid, though, He said, I'll be about 10 pounds lighter down there in Tampa. That's confidence.
That is. Curtis Jordan has taken the place of Coffey. Here's Montana back to throw and fires for the end zone for Solomon and overthrows him. Anthony Washington was the defender. So that's the end of the third quarter with the score Washington 21, San Francisco nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota Trucks. There's a whole new generation of Toyota trucks for 1984. Light beer from Miller, everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less. And by AT&T Information Systems, a leader in communications and information management.
One more quarter to go. Washington 21, San Francisco nothing. Super Bowl would be next. 49ers at the Redskin 26, second down 10. Montana, a reverse coming. Solomon back to Montana. The throw to Eason Ramson. It'll be first and goal for the 49ers. The reverse back to Montana. They had a lot of plays in the book, didn't they?
That's right. That's a flea flicker off a reverse. Watch this. Tyler back on the reverse. Back to Montana. Ransom is coming. See him down there in the corner. He's running a corner pattern. That's a heck of a pass because he was really double covered short and deep, and Montana got it right in that slot to Eason Ransom.
First down and goal for San Francisco. Solomon was the man in motion. Montana is going to roll right. Looking for some place to go, can't find it, and rolls out of bounds. At the 5, lost a couple. Almost ran into Irv Cross.
Irv was probably covering him. He's an old defensive back. You see, the quarterback rolls, I cover. Irv, he's down there covering some guys.
Irv was about ready to force.
The 49ers have to get this in here. I think what happened on that play, I think that some receiver didn't get out. It looked like he didn't have anyone out there to throw to, so he just took it out of bounds.
So it'll be second down and goal from the 5 now. Solomon goes in motion again. Montana. Outside Craig. Darrell Green had a beat on it. And on Craig.
Bill Walsh is looking there at that list. I would think he should come up with some play that's away from Darrell Green. I would say I've given that guy enough chances today. Let's see if we got something here away from Darrell Green. He's just putting in Mike Wilson there. This is where you like to throw to a tight end because you get that big target like a, Russ Francis. He's 6'6", that type of thing, or even an Eason Ransom.
Of course, Montana is very mobile, capable of running again himself. Wilson got the touchdown for San Francisco. Anthony Washington was the Redskin defender, but Montana got him in.
That's a big play for the 49ers. We saw Bill Walsh. He called Wilson's number, and he sent him in with a play. We saw him right there go in. He said, go in there, line up tight. He lines up as a tight end on the left side. Montana comes back. Wilson just runs an out. Montana hits him right there. That's a pretty good move there by Wilson.
Excellent. Worshing hits the extra point, and the 49ers finally are on the board. 79 yards they went, and it's 21-7 with 14:37 left to play.
Okay, now here's Mike Wilson right here. They usually line him up wide. He's lining up tight. He's just going to come up and run an out right here. And you watch what happens. You see the corner is looking into the backfield. Here comes Wilson. He starts in, stops, and then slides right down the line of scrimmage. See, he started like he was going to run an in or a hook. He just stopped and slid back to the outside. That's an option pass pattern.
21-7 now. Overall, John Madden, RFK Stadium. Redskins 21, 49ers 7, but plenty of time remaining. Ray Wersching set to kick off. Alvin Garrett back deep. High kick puts Garrett at his own 4. Drops it. Can't find a handle. Now picks it up. It's cut down at the 13-yard line by Carl Monroe. The Redskins operate deep from their own territory. San Francisco has already thrown 41 times, 14 running plays. Redskins a little bit more balanced. Richie Pettibone, who runs the Redskin defense, said earlier in the week that he felt that San Francisco, Montana, would possibly throw between 50 and 60 times, and he might be a prophet, as well as a good defensive coach. Riggins the lone setback. That's Brown in motion. Heisman on first down. Chase out of the pocket. Fakes. Keeps going. Heisman hit it about the 18. Picked up about 6. Eric Wright cut him down.
He was trying to throw out here to the right, Art Monk. Good coverage by Ronnie Lott. Now watch Fred Dean on the rush here. He almost gets him. Here we see Russ Grimm come out. See, he just throws that left arm, plays off for Grimm, and he's zeroing right in here on Theismann. Didn't almost get him. Theismann's out of there. All the hogs and stuff were left there, and Theismann was out on the left side.
He got 6, so make it 2nd and 4. He gives to Riggins. Riggins bangs outside the 25 for a Redskin first down. In addition to all of his other attributes, Riggins does not fumble. Tina Turner on the stop. Riggins has carried 24 times and picked up 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. The other one was 70 yards from Theismann to Charlie Brown. 21-7. Now the 49er defense has got to get the ball back for their offensive unit. On the counter, it's Riggins again, and caught from behind. Fred Dean and Jim Stuckey from the offside.
You know, Fred Dean usually comes in and plays the passing downs. Here now, they want another defensive lineman in there and some quickness. And you see, he's able to take on a block. He takes on Don Warren there, just throws him to the side, comes right down the line of scrimmage, chases that thing down. You know, Fred Dean, you always think of him as a pass rusher. He's a leading pass rusher in the NFC, but he plays the run pretty tough, too.
Not that big, but very strong.
Very strong hands and arms.
Theismann's going to go to work. Bounces it out to Charlie Brown. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. Eric Wright was the San Francisco defender. Clock stops with 12:29 left to play.
That was just a bad throw there by Joe Theismann. He just got it about halfway there and bounced it in. My old quarterback, Kenny Stabler, when he'd throw those kind, he'd say low ball thrower, high ball drinker. Tee it up, do it again. That's what he used to say.
Theismann might say that. No? No. Washington and Giaquinto in the Redskin backfield. 49ers have a blitz going. Theismann is down. Fumble. Redskins got it back. Wayne Board put the heat on Joe Theismann.
I'll tell you, Board really did put the heat on him. He took an inside move and he came right in there. He really had Theismann zeroed in.
Fred Dean and the 49er defense have done their work. Jeff Hayes is back to kick. He'll be punting from his own 8-yard line. Dana McLemore, dangerous return man, standing at the 49er 40. Good kick by Hayes. McLemore at the 35. Spins away from one Redskin. Gets nothing and a fumble. Redskins think they have it. They do have it. Otis Wansley and Greg Williams down quickly.
He's coming towards us now. He starts to spin, starts up the other side of the field, and just as he gets hit, the left hand got in there by Greg Williams, the second hit by Wansley, and the ball popped out of there. Look at all those white jerseys. Guys just diving. Helmets, jerseys, bodies in there. Redskins ball.
And here's what they are so good at taking advantage of. Watch him go to work now. To the 30. Ricky Ellison made the stop.
Now right here, excuse me, Pat, right here when they have a 14-point lead and they get you down here, this is where they give you a big dose of Riggins.
He's been busy. Picked up 93 yards. He has 5 consecutive playoff games in which he has gained over 100.
You know, on short yardage he's going to get it. You know, on goal line he's going to get it. And this is the other time he usually gets it.
That's what he's done so far, and that's what he has done today. Here's Riggins. Bangs down to about the 26. Picked up a few. Fred Dean made the stop Joe Gibbs in the middle with the clipboard. Riggins walks off, and Washington comes in. Joe Washington. Nick Giaquinto joins him.
You see, when you get third down and more than 2 yards, they don't consider that a short yardage. This is third and about 4, so this is a passing down for the Redskins.
And the 49ers feel that's true. They put in their pass defense unit, which of course includes Fred Dean. They surprise him. Washington runs and is hammered out of bounds by the 49ers. Don't believe he got the first down.
This is going to be an interesting decision for Joe Gibbs here. Championship game, 4th down. You're talking about less than a yard. I know he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to. He's not going to.
He has put Moseley in. Moseley has missed 3 times already.
You know, he went for it in that Dallas game. I think he's been kicking himself ever since. And it's a tough thing. You get so emotional in this game. You want to, you know, and the fans yell, go, 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 and you want to. The easiest thing to do is to go for it. The toughest thing is to say, no, let's kick the field goal.
It's from 41 yards out. Moseley this time is going to be no good. 0 for 4. Short. He is missed from 45, 34, 38, and 41. Long day for Mark Moseley. It's still Washington 21, San Francisco 7. 4th quarter.
I crushed a lot of quarterbacks in my day, and I'm real sorry. So I wrote this letter. Dear quarterbacks, I apologize for the way I treated you. Please let me buy you a light beer from Miller. Light's my beer because it tastes great.
This is again, he just hit this ball too low. Straight enough, but it didn't get there. It's a long walk back to the bench.
Coach Bill Walsh here. I think he has a jinx on field goal kickers. He said, okay, let's go, offense.
The Ops will go from their own 24-yard line. Just under 10 minutes left to play. Montana back to throw. Going deep. Earl Cooper. Freddie Solomon, I'm sorry, Solomon. From Montana. And the 49ers are right back in it from 76 yards out. It was Solomon.
You know, and that's what Bill Walsh was talking about. He saw that missed field goal. He says, we got him. Let's go for it right now, guys. He said, Freddie, just go in there, get in there tight, run a post. Let's see if we can get something on Darrell Green. He's been on us all day. Freddie Solomon beats Darrell Green and gets the touchdown. He told us last night, he said, I'm going to go for it. We're going for big ones and deep ones, and we're going to get some of them.
And Montana to Solomon got him right back in the game. Hershey's big extra point is good, and it's 21-14.
And those missed field goals are starting to loom big. Watch Freddie Solomon. He's a wing back there. He's tight to the tight end. He starts in. Little move there. Now he's just going right by Darrell Green. He got about 2 steps on him. A perfect pass. Right up over the shoulder. Right in there. Touchdown for the 49ers. That was a heck of a throw by Montana. Heck of a catch by Freddie Solomon.
Right over the head. A difficult catch. Solomon said he was going to try to go deep, you mentioned, and he did. Montana got the ball to him.
Nehemiah gives you, when he's in there, everyone's saying, watch out, he's going to do good. Watch Nehemiah, watch Nehemiah. And then they sneak Solomon into the post.
He's such a threat.
And everyone's watching Nehemiah deep.
Here's Ronaldo, number 83. Wershing's kickoff is fielded by Alvin Garrett at his own 6. Garrett is hammered by the 49er coverage team. They are elated about this turn of events. Bobby Leopold is the man down to make the hit. Montana to Solomon has turned it back into a game. 9:39 left to play. Plenty of time.
I'll tell you, the 49ers are fired up now, and that goes. It goes, you know, you miss a field goal, your offense comes in there, pops them, and now you get your special team. Look, they're wild guys coming down there. That was Leopold, Bobby Leopold, making that tackle.
First down, Redskins, their own 23. Plenty of time left. 49ers 49ers now going with a 4-man front. Fake to Riggins. Theismann rolls out, chased and sacked by Dwayne Board. That's the 3rd sack of Theismann by the 49ers, and Board got that one.
I think it's the same type of thing with a guy like Board as Nehemiah. You know what happens? They put in Fred Dean. Everyone's thinking about Fred Dean. Board takes an inside move. You see him 76? Inside move on Jacoby. Just keeps going and just turns right up the field on Theismann.
Riggins comes off the field out of the Washington lineup, and Washington goes in.
You know, that last play was one of, I think Fred Dean got hurt on that play, Pat. Yeah, he's going off the field there.
Let's see if we can see what happened. Looked like it might be a knee.
Well, he was the outside guy, and it looked like he started on a pass rush. You see him 74, and for some reason he just pulls up here. You see, and then he starts later. I don't know if he just got a twist in there or what. He's looking around, and he grabs his left calf. I think that was something that he just got from pushing off on the ground.
I think it's a cramp, or it could be an Achilles injury. Second down, Redskins, and 20 from their own 13. Theismann back to throw. Theismann slips. Now slips away. Pass is knocked away by Ronnie Lott at the last second. Intended for Didier.
I'll tell you, Ronnie Lott is the best that there is in football at that. Arriving the same time as a ball and knocking it out.
A couple of years ago, he was fantastic at that.
Watch him on Didier here. You see, he sees the ball. Now watch, the ball gets there, Lott gets there at the same time, and whack, the ball just goes to the ground.
That's about the way it has to be played.
As you say, in 1981, when he was a rookie, this secondary did that better than any team in the National Football League, knocking that ball out of there.
Third down for the Redskins from their own 13. They need 20 for a first. Theismann back to throw. Going for a bunch. Intended for Monk. Incomplete. No flag. Redskins are screaming pass interference, but no flag is thrown. Collier, the defender.
Art Monk is still down there complaining to the officials. Now Tim Collier is on Art Monk. See, he'll be right in there. You see him coming into the screen right there? I think he did get his left hand in there. That was pass interference.
But no flag is thrown, and Jeff Hayes stands back deep.
Yep, I think the Redskins have reason to complain on that one.
McLemore standing at midfield. Hayes. Good kick. Good high kick. Chases McLemore back to his own 40. Looking for someplace to go and not finding it. Greg Williams was the first Redskin down to take him down. A 47-yard punt.
Good field position for the 49ers. Let's watch it one more time. Tim Collier, see the left arm in there? That was pass interference. The ball was in the air. 49ers dodged the bullet. Good field position.
At their own 47.
Toyota is turning the truck world upside down, including the competition's V6s. Introducing the new generation Toyota SR5 with a first-of-its-kind electronic fuel injection system that powers this Toyota from 0 to 30, 50, 55, faster than any competitor's V6. A lot of trucks will be eating this Toyota's dust in 1984.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
Did you ever notice that just when you think you see the whole picture...
Let's go 49ers. The only team other than Dallas to beat the Redskins at home in the last 21 games. Right now it's 21-14. Redskins. Nehemiah is split wide to the left. That was Tyler in motion. Montana back to go to work. Has a man wide open down the middle. It's Eason Ramson. And they move into Redskin territory to their 38. 16-yard pickup and a 49er first down. Olkowitz made sure that Ramson stayed down. Second half for the 49ers. How about that one? Think they live with the past?
Right. Well, if you can find guys like that, wide open like that, and deep like Freddie Solomon, heck, you don't have to run. Just keep throwing it. Getting good pass protection.
Craig with the man in motion. Here's Tyler. Tyler stumbles as he gets through the line. Picks up about 4 or 5. Olkowitz tripped him up.
Well, I think the sand, I think the sand in there tripped him up. You know, we talked about the middle of the field being returfed and all that sand in there. I think Tyler just slipped on the sand. That's what Riggins says. It's like playing in Long Beach.
Not quite as warm.
On a cold night in Long Beach, playing like volleyball or something.
At the 34-yard line, it's 2nd and 7. Solomon in motion. Now he goes back in the other direction. Again they throw. And again, Wilson is open. He gets down inside the 15-yard line, out of bounds at the 13. Anthony Washington, the coverer.
I'll tell you, Joe Montana's found the range now. His receivers are starting to get open. He's reading, but I'll tell you the other big thing, pass protection. This 49er offensive line is doing a heck of a job. Watch at the time Montana has. See, they're keeping those 2 big tackles pinned on the line. Watch them right here. Butts and Grant. You see him? Airs there, cross there. Just fight. That's a real hog contest. Keeping those guys away from Montana.
Montana looking to end zone. Looking for Wilson. Touchdown. Anthony Washington again, the defender, but Montana is right on the money.
I'll tell you, he is on the money. This is a fantastic thing what they're doing here. Bill Walsh had a game plan. Looked like in the first half things didn't go, and now he knows what he wants. He got them zeroed in, and they're getting guys wide open on every pass play. Plus, still good pass protection.
Mark Moseley, very dejected over on the sideline. He's missed 4 field goals. Montana has just broken a championship game record by throwing 45 passes. That was his 45th. Wersching's extra point is good, and we have a tie.
I'll tell you, Mike Wilson has been a big part of this game. Let's watch a touchdown here again. Good pass protection. Montana has time. He looks, he finds him. Wilson runs a corner pattern right here on Anthony Washington. Beats him by 3 or 4 steps. Woo! Watch him. He's out here now. He's going to give him a good inside move. See, into the right. See there? There. He holds him there, and then boom, he comes back out to the outside. That's a good move there by Mike Wilson.
Excellent. That's 2 good moves he's made.
Anthony Washington said, I got him.
Redskins 20. San Francisco 21-21 with the Redskins. Plenty of time. 7:08 left to play.
And you remember, this is true sudden death now. It's not one of those deals where you only play a quarter. This game will be played and go on until someone wins.
Some comeback by the 49ers. They were down 21-0.
This is what it's all about. You know, they've been, neither one of these teams have lost neither one of these coaches have ever lost a playoff game. Quarterbacks haven't either. Wersching fell down.
Kickoff is fielded by Garrett at the 10. A reverse coming. Monty Coleman. A linebacker who can really run. Flags are down everywhere. Coleman is still on his feet and is finally taken down by Homo.
That's going to be against the Redskins. It's one of those illegal blocks from behind or clip. I saw that. It happened about the 25-yard line. But these teams and these coaches are pulling out all stops. Yeah, legal block from behind above the waist.
There's a 49er player down on the far side of the field, and I think it's Wersching who was in on the tackle.
Well, he also slipped on the kickoff. He fell down when he kicked that ball.
That's Wersching, who is face down.
Illegal block, number 58, on the run back. First down.
See what happened to Wersching.
Well, here it is. First of all, starting on the kick, you see, again, that plant foot, that left leg, as he went to kick the ball, that thing just slipped out from under him. Then he's still down on the sideline. I don't know if he got hurt on the tackle or if it was that slip on the kick.
I think he got hurt on the tackle. And as I look at our depth chart, John, I don't see that the 49ers have anybody else listed as a place kicker. Wersching's still there.
Well, usually those punters that are specialists usually do take some of their time and work a little at it, so I would imagine that would happen.
In that case, it would be Oros. See if we can find out what happened to Wersching. There he is, number 14.
Well, here he is, right there at the top of the picture, number 14. He's coming in here. Now, Greg Williams is going to come in from the left. There's Williams right there. Now, watch. He puts a hit right there on Wersching and puts him right down on the back. That's where he got it. He got the slip on the kickoff, but it was a hit by Greg Williams on him right there because he's still in that same position.
That was some hit. And kickers, for the most part, are not used to getting hit. Certainly not like that.
That was something. I think the shock of that slip on the kickoff was something, and then the hit right there, like he's trying to shake the cobwebs out. See him give that head a shake?
Next time he might look up. Joe Montana, by the way, in the first half was 9 of 21 for just 68 yards. In the second half, 18 out of 24 for 279 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You know, that old cliche about momentum, I don't know if it's an old cliche, but there's something to it right here. We talk about it changing. It has changed.
Here's Riggins around the corner. John Riggins barrels for the Redskins first down. That'll put him over 100 yards. Light Hicks made the stop as Riggins gets around the corner.
Riggins usually takes that counter play to the inside. This time he took it outside. Watch it here. Here comes Russ Grimm. Here comes Joe Jacoby. Good block right there. You see what Grimm did? He came out, instead of kicking his man out, he logged him or blocked him in, and then Riggins was able to get to the outside.
Riggins, 28 carries, 114 yards, checking things out. Riggins again. This time, he stays on his feet for about 5. Tina Turner came from the offside to cut him down.
Tell you one thing, the longer the game goes, the stronger that guy gets. Not this guy. I'm not talking about the kicker. I'm talking about Riggins.
Riggins comes out now. Washington comes in. Joe Washington. 2nd and 5. Redskins have it their own 36. Riggins 119 yards. Checking out the atmosphere.
Looks like he either has something in his eye or contact lens.
Here's Theismann outside to Didier. Didier has a Redskin first down. Carlton Williamson up to make the stop. Here's Riggins.
Isn't it something, you know, you play the whole season, you play a playoff game, you get to a championship game, and it all boils down to the last 5 minutes. All boils down to right now, your whole season. The winner, he's in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Loser, you wait for training camp.
Wait for next July, and that's when it all began, last July. 1st and 10 Redskins, their own 42. Clock running, 4:56 left to play. Theismann gives to Washington. Washington over the right side for about 3. Gets to the 45.
I'll tell you, those bodies are flying there. Did you see Ronnie Lott come flying in from that left corner? As a matter of fact, he's still down. But he was out here at the left cornerback. Washington, and he just threw his body in there. He just comes flying in. Let's watch him here at the bottom of the picture. Here comes the run. Watch Lott just take off. They're hitting out there now.
Oh, boy. They have been all day, but now the intensity seems to have picked up. It's Riggins. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and long. Pete Kugler, first man there. Oh, what a day and what a game he's played.
Well, you know, the 49ers, as we see it here, they're using a 4-man line. That's different. They've been a 3-man line team, but they've done a heck of a job. Kugler has done a good job in that middle. Pillars, again, is in there. You know, strong, not giving them any cutback places. They just got a whole bunch of guys on Riggins. That's the way you have to play.
Clock is running. Riggins is out. Washington is in. 3rd 3rd and 8. Redskins will have to throw, and they do have to throw, and Theismann throws. Pass is caught by Art Monk, and it's complete. 11 yards and a first down Redskins. 3.5 minutes left to play as Theismann drives him.
I'll tell you, that was a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch. This is Tim Collier here covering on Art Monk. It's going to be an out pattern. See, he starts up. Now, the only place to throw it is down low and back. Monk went down. Boom, he got it right in there. That was some throw by Theismann. That ball was a clothesline. He didn't stay in the air very long.
And it had to be. 14 out of 26 for Theismann. They're in 49er territory at the 45. Now less than 3 minutes left to play. Riggins gets the call, and the carry and is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Lawrence Pillars stops Riggins.
I'll tell you one thing. I think that the 49ers are surprising the Redskins a little with this four-man line. And they're not getting those big holes or soft spots inside the way they did last week against the Rams.
The word on Fred Dean, by the way, we got from Herb Cross, who was over in the neighborhood of the 49er bench, was that he had a cramp and possibly could be back. 2nd down and 10. Theismann looks right, now looks left, goes deep. Incomplete. Flag is down. Penalty marker down. Art Monk back with Eric Wright. Not much doubt about that one.
Walsh is saying we didn't need that. Whew. The toughest penalty in the National Football League is pass interference. That's the longest one. Now watch Eric Wright. He's number 21 going against Art Monk. The ball's in the air. You can't touch him. Tough to see. It looked like he was pushing with that left hand on it.
27 yards on the penalty. Let's watch his left arm.
You see the left arm on him right there? See him push? Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yep. Nice. First down, Redskins. They give to Riggins. Riggins trying to get around the corner. Popped out of bounds by Dwayne Ford. Stops the clock with 2:08 remaining. Certainly they're in field goal range, but it's been a horrible day for Moseley.
See if we can see that interference call again and see if we can see the left arm there, because the right arm's okay, so it'd have to be that left arm or hand with a push in there, because that wasn't it right there at the end. That's okay at the end.
2nd and 6 from the 14. This is Riggins up the middle. Down to about the 11. Keena Turner ran him down from the offside, and there are 2 minutes remaining. And we'll get that 2-minute notification right now.
What's Moseley thinking right now?
He is hoping first down, so he doesn't have to go back and try it again. Or maybe he's hoping for a chance to redeem himself. 21 all the score. San Francisco and Washington tied up at 21 with 2 minutes left to play. 3rd and 5 at the 13 for Washington.
I think the key here is if Riggins is in, it'll probably be a run. If he's not, it'll probably be a pass. He's not.
He is not. It's Washington. Mark Moseley over on the sideline. Here's Theismann back, and quickly he goes in the corner. Knocked away at the last second, intended for Alvin Garrett. Knocked away by Collier.
I see a flag down.
Flag's down. Going to be against the 49ers.
Holding, number 42, defense, automatic first down.
Automatic first down, Ronnie Lott. Really upset.
Oh, Ronnie Lott was on Charlie Brown. Let's see if we can see it right here. Here's Charlie Brown, 87. Ronnie Lott, 42. He can chuck him the first 5 yards. That's okay. Left to, oh, see, he called it right there. You see Lott look over there? He knew right away when he had that left hand up there that he was calling him for holding. Boy, these officials are getting pretty tight here in this fourth quarter.
I'll say. Heisman asking for quiet. It's first and goal, Redskins at the 8. Monk and Brown both split wide to the left. They give to Riggins. Riggins swarmed on right at the line of scrimmage. White, Hicks, and Ronnie Lott. He gets very little. Clock is running. 1:40 left to play. Moseley on the sideline. Redskins would like to eat up as much as they can of this clock, or at least force the 49ers to call timeout. They only have 2 left.
I'll tell you, there were a couple big plays. One was that pass interference on Monk by Eric Wright that got him down there, and then that one on Ronnie Lott holding that gave him a first down here.
Ball's at the 8. They give again to Riggins, and he can't go anywhere again. And the 49ers are going to have to use some of their timeouts.
I would think that they should start now, because whether or not the Redskins score it, they still need time after that. Whether they score a field goal or a touchdown, they ought to be taking timeouts.
Could be. Redskins are going to take as much time as they can in the huddle.
They finally do. I can't believe that. I can't believe they left that much time go off the clock.
I can't either. Heisman comes over to the sideline. They've got Moseley right in front of the goalpost. But his mental state at the moment would not be too good after being 0 for 4 already. San Francisco 21, Washington 21. Maybe Bill Walsh does have a hex on kickers. 54 seconds left to play. 49ers down to 1 timeout.
And I think the key again here, Pat, is if Riggins is in there, the Redskins are going to run it. If Joe Washington's in, I'd say they're going to pass it. They're talking about that right now. There's John Riggins. I guess he's not in there. So I bet they're talking about a pass. What Russ Grimm is doing in that huddle with those guys, I have no idea. What's the left guard doing with the quarterbacks and all those offense? Look at Russ Grimm back there.
He wants to find out what it's like over there, maybe.
Again, I've never seen a guard come over in a huddle.
Riggins carries one more time. It'll match his own championship game record of 36 last year against Dallas. Riggins is in the game now, behind Theismann. The give is to Riggins. Nothing doing. He is down and down at about the 9. Now, Wayne Board led the 49er defense, and we will have to see Moseley. For today. The net goes up behind the goalpost, and everybody's going to be on their feet in just a second. 21-21 tie. 49ers now out of timeouts. They stop the clock with 44 seconds remaining. Moseley is out with Theismann to hold and Bostic the snapper.
And of course, the 49ers didn't take that timeout to let Moseley think about it. They had to take the timeout to buy themselves some time for when they get the ball. Of course, in the way they've had guys open, you know, they may have something over there that they can hit a Solomon or a Wilson or someone deep.
With 44 seconds to go, Moseley is out with Theismann holding. Today's misses have been for Moseley from 45, 34, 38, 41. This one will come from 25 yards out. Believe me, I've said many times, there is no such thing as a chip shot.
That's one of those things that's easy to say. You know, forget about it. Just get this one. That's easy to say, but sometimes it's hard to do, isn't it, to forget about it?
It sure is. Especially after you've had a day like he has. This one is good. Redskins 24. 49ers 21. Big penalties. Pass interference involving Art Monk and the other one on Charlie Brown.
Hey, and 2 of those things, you know, those penalties were awfully tight.
looking out.
His left arm went outside there. That's a very tight call. Here's the first one earlier. Now watch Eric Wright's left hand. He pushes Art Monk right at the end there, and that's the pass interference. So those two penalties were the biggest part of that drive for the Redskins.
Jack Kent Cook, chairman of the board of the Redskins, up and happy at the moment. Washington 24, San Francisco 21. Jeff Hayes will kick off. McLemore and Monroe back deep. Here's Hayes' kick. Good high kick. It'll be McLemore at the 5. He runs out of bounds at about the 18. Larry Kubin was over there to make sure that he went out of bounds. That took 4 seconds. 36 seconds left to play. No timeouts left for the 49ers.
Now this is a tough deal now for the Redskins, because if you get in a prevent, which they probably will, you can't give too big a cushion, because all he has to do is complete about 3 and he's in field goal range.
What you don't know about the condition of Wersching now. You remember that he was hurt on the kickoff return earlier by Monty Coleman after the handoff from Garrett. Nehemiah over on the left side. On with Solomon. Montana scrambles. Gets enough for a first down to the 35, but it burns time off that clock, and the clock runs. The 49ers hustle up. Montana, quick snap. Batted away at the last second by Darrell Green, and that stops the clock with 14 seconds left to play, intended for Mike Wilson. Washington leading by 3 points.
Well, the 49ers have a different type of formation. They usually have 3 receivers out here: Earl Cooper, Freddie Solomon, and Ronaldo Nehemiah, all out here together. Then they were bringing Wilson from the other side. Cooper's going out now, so they won't have that same formation.
14 seconds left to play. Again, Ramson, Solomon, and Nehemiah all come to the left. And Montana goes back to throw. Looking right and throwing right. And pass almost picked off, but a penalty marker is down. A flag is down, almost picked off by Coffey. Flag down right at midfield. 8 seconds.
And that's in that area where there's some type of interference.
No foul. The pass could not be caught. No foul.
No foul. You heard Jerry Markwright say the pass could not be caught.
Well, that's another one I don't agree with. How do you know it can't be caught if the guy fouled? Now, had he not been fouled, he may have gotten in position to catch it.
8 seconds left on the clock. Washington 24, San Francisco 21. Montana going for the bundle. And it's intercepted by Vernon Dean. And the Redskins will go to the Super Bowl. All the way to Tampa Bay. The whole stadium is shaking. Gallant effort by the 49ers. But the Redskins go to Tampa Bay. For the second year in a row, the NFC champions. They are indeed Tampa bound. The defending Super Bowl champions go back again. Mark Moseley, after a frustrating day, wins it with a 25-yard field goal. Richie Pettibone, the defensive coordinator, Joe Jacoby, Moseley in an embrace. One more time, let's take a look.